Hello, welcome and welcome back. Today I am going to be swatching the Wearingeul Peter Pan inks. They were released recently and I decided to get samples. So we have essentially the entire collection. I do have to pull them out of the bag because I also ordered a couple of Sailor samples. Let's see, is that, yep. And I am really excited for this. So these will be a surprise for everyone because I know what they are, but you can't see. Ha 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 ha. Now, let's get going, shall we? I will swatch a little bit in the Hobonichi, and I will try and do a little writing sample in with my Kakamori. However, I don't think that's going to give me the best idea of how wet or dry these inks are, but we'll do our best. So, first thing is swatching, shall we? Okay, we're going to do these in something of a rainbow order. So we're going to start with Tinkerbell, which is a shimmer. Whee! I just realized I have no water. I have no water! Oh no! Okay, there. Now we have some water. So, first up, if I can get it open. Blop. So this is Tinkerbell. And that, I can tell you, that is going to be extremely dry in a pen. I don't know that I would enjoy writing with that at all. It is pretty though, so perhaps there is a use for it. Let's make it, well, okay, all right, cool. So next up is Peter Pan. Now this one does not have shimmer. Where'd it go? There'd it go. This one is a little bit better. It's still very light. A lot lighter than I would have expected. Peter Pan. I just realized that I left the cat thing on. It really, and I am, let's see if we can. So there is some inconsistency, and I don't know if that's due to the way that I am swatching it or if it's the quality of the ink, but we carry on. So let's go next to another green ink. Man, all of these samples Okay, so this, I am realizing this one is not a Wearingeul ink, which is really funny. So we'll go to the next one. We'll go to TikTok Croc. So this one, when I've seen it swatched elsewhere, I thought it looked really nice. And that one is a much more respectable color. I'm just gonna make it huge. TikTok Croc. Yeah, that's got to be the way that I'm swatching this. We will swatch the thematic, but not Wearingeul ink afterwards and see if it's just the way that I'm swatching these, shall we? Okay, so this next one, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna hate it. I mean, the color is beautiful, but it will give me flashbacks. Just a little bit more. There we go. Can you see it at all? Because I cannot, and I'm sitting right here. So this one, I will swatch another thematic ink because of this one. This one is called Windy Darling. Or Wendy Darling, depending on if it is Darling Wendy or Wendy of the Darling family. I'm rambling. This one is very lovely. It's super light. I do not think that I would ever use this. No, it's too shimmery, too light. It just, So the last color is, let me get a little bit. This last color is Captain Hook. And that is a really pretty color. So this is the Wearingeul Peter Pan collection. I think it's doing okay right now in terms of bleed through and everything. I'm not going to judge the ink based on the weird, like, sedimentary, the almost, what is that noise? I'm not going to judge the ink on the sort of sedimentation that's in there because I think that I was not using this as intended, right? And it did not help that I started with a shimmer ink because you can see here in the Peter Pan ink, there is definitely some of the Tinkerbell shimmer. So I do think that Tinkerbell here is really lovely, if a bit light. And though I can definitely see some application for it. I think that in maybe some broad nibs, some wet writers, it would be fine. If you are okay with putting shimmer in your inks, I do think that I prefer Peter Pan just in terms of the richness of the color, the difference in shading. It's almost a polychromatic shader. You can see a little bit of shimmer that was left over from Tinkerbell. But this is a little bit darker. It will be a little bit easier to write with, I think. And yeah, I think both of them will be harder to write with than the TikTok Croc, which is this beautiful teal. I have so many teals, you guys. I probably will do a video, which is just detailing my teals. Detailing. Not detailing. I want to keep my teals, but you know what I mean. Puns, haha. I do like the richness of TikTok Croc. I think that it is really pretty. As it dries, some of the sedimentation is becoming like a little bit less pronounced. It's just really a lovely shading ink. And you don't see any evidence of that in the writing. So I really think that was just how I was swatching it. This close-up is really interesting. So Wendy Darling here on camera and really on the paper, it is a stunner. I have never seen an ink like this. It is, look at my Disney Ds. This is such a vibrant blue on the edges with this soft pink in the middle. I did not realize this was going to be a polychromatic shader as well as a shimmer. I still don't think I'm ever going to put this in a pen because I have had terrible experience with super pale shimmer inks, and I will share that with you in a moment. But then you have Captain Hook, which is beautiful in writing. I think I'm just kind of meh on the little circle swatch that I did, but the writing is so beautifully shading and rich and red. It is a beautiful red. So I'm going to put the camera back up in the overhead view now and show you the two sort of thematic, well, one is thematic, one is a Ferris wheel press ink. So this is Peter Moss, which I think is going to closely match, if it may be somewhat between these two, but I think it's going to be closer to the Peter Pan. And then I am going to show you, let me reach over and actually grab the ink. So the reason why I can think Wendy Darling is absolutely stunning and never want to put it in a pen is because of this sucker right here. And so I'm going to show that and then tell you my experience about it. Okay, here we go. So the first up is going to be the Peter Moss from Ferris Wheel Press. I think this might be my first Ferris Wheel Press ink ever. Just a touch. There we go. So we're going to put this one right there. And spin, spin. Look at that. That's beautiful. I really like greens, you guys. And I do not have enough greens. So just making a mess over here. Don't mind me. There, Peter Moss. Peter Moss, not Peter Moss. So when that dries, I think that may be really close to Urban's Vert Empire. Actually, let me see. I have this. Let's go to the greens. I got distracted for a second. What am I doing? I'm looking for greens. Okay. So, oh yeah, it may be really similar to Hanging Rice. See, there's Vert Empire. Or Noodler's Zhivago. But I think of all of these, Peter Pan is really close to Troublemaker's Kelp Tea, and then Peter Moss is really close to Hanging Rice. And I love both of those inks, so that's kind of fun. So I'll put that with the others. And then the sucker. Now, one of the problems with this ink is that whatever super fine shimmer they used, it is just, like, it just cakes on the bottom, right? And there is no way to get that suspended in a meaningful manner. It just, I mean, I can shake the heck out of it, but it will just be all bubbles. So I try and roll it. And this is the first problem to these super shimmers, these pale, really fine, kind of iridescent shimmer, is it's hard to get them suspended. Them being the shimmer. It's hard to get the shimmer suspended in these inks. And I don't think that Wendy Darling has quite the shimmer load that Butterfly Nebula does. But it is so close that it just makes me nervous. Whoops. So there we go. Oops. Look at how pale that is. Look at how shimmery that is. Now, see how much has accumulated on the bottom already? Yeah, it is impossible to leave this in a pen. Impossible. You really kind of have to rely on dip pens for this. Yeah, not a fan of this one. Which is a shame because I love Colorverse usually. You can probably see a little bit of the problem there. It struggles to lay down. So because it is so pale, it is a very dry ink. And combine that with the shimmer and the particular qualities of that particular shimmer, it just, I hesitate to ever use pale inks like this that are so shimmery. Yeah, I think the sort of sedimentation in the swatches was a product of the fact that I had a shimmer ink and it just messed everything up. So next time, lesson learned, don't swatch shimmer inks this way. We're gonna let this dry. It will be mostly shimmer, and yeah, you can see up here, it's just gonna be shimmer. This, I think, is a much more reasonable shimmer load. It's a lot more subtle than I was expecting. Maybe I will try and put it in a TWSBI or something, but this one, never again. It's just shimmer water. It's awful. Yeah, so here's the Peter Moss that I got because it made me think of Peter Pan. And you can see that it is a lot less complex than the Peter Pan. I think I like the Peter Pan a little bit better right now. Ask me tomorrow, it'll probably be the Peter Moss. But I like that this has that color complexity. This is a fairly standard moss green. What it says on the tin, folks. I am being politely asked for treats. So this one will take a minute to dry, and as you can see in the areas that are starting to dry, it is just gonna be shimmer. All right, so this is Butterfly Nebula Dry. Let's get all of the cords out of the way, shall we? It has a little bit of a yellow undertone, which may be that I was using the same dropper for all of these, as well as this one and this one. In summary, I think that these four I will have no problem using in a pen. This one, Curiosity, may absolutely win out. I did not expect it to look like this. I expected it to look more like the Butterfly Nebula. And this one is a nightmare in pens, but it looks like the shimmer load in Wendy Darling is just a little bit lighter, which means that it may behave more like my other shimmers. Tinkerbell similarly looks like it has, let's see if I can get this, it looks like it has a lot of shimmer, but I probably will try it once in one of my Twisbees. So yeah, that is the Wearingeul. Let's see if I can, well, whatever. This is the Wearingeul Peter Pan set, which I think is a really, I think, thematic and enjoyable set of colors. Even if I don't intend on using Tinkerbell or Wendy Darling in pens very frequently, I think they are lovely. And I am also excited to have Peter Moss to add to my collection. So let's see how often I end up using these, shall we? All right. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey of ink swatches and exploration. If you like what you see here, like and subscribe. My videos can be a little all over the place sometimes, but you know, we make it. And I will see you next week. Bye. Never, do not put this in pens, folks. Just use a dip pen with it. Save yourself some heartache.